the hospital. She always brings supplies with her. There's a constant need.
Be really careful taking those because there's a lot of glass items in there. Okay.
This delivery costs more than £12,000 and will last 3 months. Anita is also here to coordinate projects and keep in touch with some of the patients with long-term care, like Baba.
What are you doing here? Hey, hello. Hey, how are you doing?
This way.
You had the operation. His hand.
Baba has had severe problems with his hands and feet since
Great
birth.
to see you. So, and you can really get more use from that now. Baba has recently had an operation just to release the tendons in his hand, and this is going to give him the freedom now, and Baba is able to actually wash himself, something that we all take for granted but is going to transform this young man's life. But the next stage, of course, is Baba is suffering. He is in pain with his feet, and on board the container we have a scooter, and now we have some firm grip here.
Yeah.
The hope is that he'll actually be able to hold on to this scooter and just alleviate the pain for
Some of the
a
pain,
little
so
while.
he'll be able to get around.
Yes.
The hospital was built in the 1930s when the Gambia was a British colony. It's kept many of its original features and added very few new ones. There are separate wards for children, men and women, but there's no separation for infectious diseases.
David, this is the children's ward. In this ward you'll have medical, surgical, you can have meningitis, measles. There's no segregating any of these infectious diseases. As you can see to your left, all children coming in are admitted and treated right here in the ward. So it's a very, very distressing sight. The biggest problem is with a ward like this is cross-infection, which is a major, major part.
So, as you say, there's no segregation of any of these diseases?
No,
it's all,
no, not at all.
Everyone's kind of mixed up together?
No, we've got burns, we've got snake bites, meningitis, malaria cases, and there is nowhere else to put the children.
Mohammed Jao was burnt after knocking over a cooking pot. Burns cases are common, especially in the winter. He can now be treated with the new dressings which came on the bus.
All the body was gone with pap, because pap was very hot. It's just from the fire. So the mother was washing, maybe trying to do something again. So the boy was playing and he didn't know whether the pap is there. So he was just playing the football.
Whopper is a play nurse funded by a school in Northampton. Wages in developed countries like England attract many Gambian nurses. So to keep staff, the charity pays for the nurses' training. In return, they agree to stay at Bansang.
Anita is doing best. He's trying. Anything good you see in the hospital, you know that Anita will try to bring it. Anita is trying both day and night. He wants Bansang Hospital to be the best hospital in the Gambia. And she's trying. And every day when we pray for her so that the hospital can increase more.
Are you coming to me? Hey, coming to me? Oh, the baby. Hey, you're beautiful, aren't you? Hey. The old children's ward is just terrible. The ceilings are too low, there's no ventilation. There is nowhere for children to be treated. As soon as they come into the ward, it's very, very distressing because the mothers from all around are actually witnessing children in the most dreadful conditions coming in. And it's so distressing, not only for the mothers, but for the patients themselves. There is nowhere to dress the children, and we have always serious burns cases. And it's just hopeless, absolutely hopeless. We have a malnutrition programme in place, but we have nowhere to make these foods up. We have no cupboard space. Play therapy is vital, but we can't do anything. It's just a shambles, and it's just so sad. It makes me very sad to walk onto that ward and see such suffering.
Gambia's mortality figures show the extent of the suffering. 1 in 5 children dies before their 5th birthday. This is a strip of waste ground just outside the hospital, and to look at it, you'd think it was just that, a strip of waste ground, somewhere where they burn rubbish. This is the graveyard of the babies who were born prematurely at Bang Sang Hospital. All of the graves are marked with bits of stone, bits of metal. They're marked so simply, it's just unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. There's bits of old metal, rocks just piled up, just denoting where those born prematurely die inside the hospital. When Anita is in Bang Sang, she has a constant stream of visitors. This little girl weighed less than 1 kilo at birth. Her mother died in labour. Now she's strong, has been adopted by Whopper and been named Anita.
Oh, you are a good girl. Look at your pretty top.
Oh, yeah, look at the star on there. Yeah, nice.
You've got a very special mummy, haven't you? Hey, you have. Very special mummy. Is she still stubborn?
Very stubborn.
Little Anita survived against the odds. But for every success, there's someone else needing care. I was just in the children's ward, and they've got another burns case, a very bad one, a girl probably about 7 or 8 years old, and she's pretty spaced out at the moment, obviously in lots of pain, and they're asking me when they should take the dressings off and when they should replace them. I said what I thought, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I think that's just the way this place runs sometimes. You know, a lot of caring people, dedicated people, loyal staff, but they don't seem to know sometimes some of the basics, but you know, they get through. They're amazing staff. They work very hard, but they're stretched so thinly, and they can't always be there for everybody. And it's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking. Every new dawn brings new patients. The hospital serves 600,000 people. They travel by cart or on foot, sometimes trekking for days from Senegal and Mali. Healthcare is not confined by national borders.
Bang Sang Hospital is the only referral hospital east of the country. There's no other hospital beyond Bang Sang. Anita has done a fantastic work for this hospital. She's instrumental in getting us a lot of resources, drugs, you can see it for yourself, and some other medical equipment as well. Anita is also instrumental in getting some of our nurses in the school, SCN school, that is State Enrolled Nurses School. At the end of the day, they become our nurses, because Bang Sang Hospital is tutoring for them through Anita. I'm indeed grateful to Anita, or to Bang Sang Hospital through Anita, for the wonderful work that she has done for Bang Sang. And not just for the hospital, and the community as well, the schools. The schools also have been supported or assisted by Anita's effort. She's a fantastic lady, honestly.
She doesn't do it for gratitude, though. This is for the local community. Part of the charity's aim is sustainability, giving enough support for the people to help themselves. Across the river from Bang Sang is Dobo, a typical rural community. Typical except for two remarkable things, a new well and a largy bar. The well was paid for by a donation. Without it, they'd have to collect water from the river, probably contaminated, and a 2-hour round trip. A largy bar is one of a tiny number of people in the Gambia to have an artificial limb.
Bang Sang Hospital is a very big thing to us. Like, if you can see, we can say that though we were living, but Bang Sang Hospital is also supporting us in our life, especially Alaji in general. Because, like, if you see, we know Anita and all those things is due to him, and it's because of Bang Sang Hospital, and he was having this leg problem.